Oh, this is when we're live. Here we go. We're live. Let me go live into the group.
Just give my family a kind reminder that we're live. Hi guys, just in case anybody's there, you know.
I'm on my own telly as well.
Oh,
In the
you.
kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm going to turn that off. It's putting me off.
Yeah.
So this is your 15 minutes of fame on the big screen then, Chels.
15 seconds, if that.
I can't see.
Hi, Kerry. Kerry's the first one to join us.
Hi, Kerry. I've just had to shut the door because I know the dogs will bark in a minute.
Oh, but in Aberystwyth today, the weather was glorious and the sea looked lovely. Shame I couldn't stay and just soak up the atmosphere. Hi, Margie. Hi, Kathy. We're saying hi to you, Ginger.
Chelsea, can
Any
you,
comments from my end?
No,
so
okay.
can you, if you go on the comments,
You should be able to see them.
I can now, yeah. Thank
yeah,
you.
there you go.
Right, we should be live in the members group.
Excellent.
Lovely. This is the little bit, where we talk and we forget that everybody out there can hear us, Hi, Karen. So good evening to you all. Hi, Yvonne.
Hello,
So
folks.
this is couch time.
This is, so are we all go, Sue?
Yep.
Excellent.
Over to you.
Brilliant. So, hello everybody. Like Tracy said, this is couch time. And today we've got the lovely Ginger, aka Chelsea. Some of you may know her as Ginger on the groups. Hi, Lulu. So these couch times are basically, we have special guests that come in and talk to us. And we've got a few things that we will ask and questions, but we want you guys on YouTube and Facebook to give us some questions for Chelsea.
Otherwise, we might ask some bizarre things because you know me by now.
We will rephrase that. Tracy will ask some weird things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just be quiet.
I don't always ask funny things or bizarre things.
Chelsea, thank you for coming.
Evening.
I know you're a bit nervous, bless you, but it's absolutely fine.
Just friends talking.
Yeah, it's fine. Just forget the 14,000 viewers that are watching, and honestly, it won't be that many. So Chelsea, tell us about your journey, your keto low carb journey. How did you start it? Why did you start it? When did you start it? Tell us.
Okay. So I've been keto, let's just stick to the word keto, it's easier probably, for 3.5 years. I had been in Slimming World in total for 4.5 years as a member, social team, all that business. And I did lose weight, but it was really slow. It was always hard work for me to lose weight. And the last 18 months of being there, I started gaining weight back. And no matter how good I was or how on plan I was, it didn't stop the gain. So it was slow and steady. But like I say, for the last 18 months anyway, I just started questioning why it was not working anymore. Why was I gaining weight? I knew there was all kinds of issues, and you hear every excuse in the book, really, when you're in groups like that, face to face. There's always something to blame, but not the food.
Yeah.
It's never the food that's to blame. It's you that's doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. You're eating the wrong thing. You've not measured something. All that kind of business. And then a couple of my friends had lost some weight, and they'd mentioned this keto word, and I was like, oh, let's have a look at that then. So basically, I just started reading about it, asked a few questions of my friends, started reading about it, and then really quickly picked up the science aspect of it. And then that was really it for me. I was just like, oh my God, what have I been doing? What is everybody else doing when we should be doing more of this? And that's been me ever since.
And so how long ago was that?
So that was over 3.5 years ago. I did keep going to Slimming World because I felt a bit guilty sort of telling, you know, the consultant that I was going to leave, but then I started losing weight again, and she was like, oh, it's really working. I'm thinking, no, I'm doing keto in the background. It's not Slimming World.
It's the social side of it, though, isn't it?
It was good.
Like that.
It was good for that. I do still keep in touch with a couple of the members, because, you know, like I say, I was on the social team. We used to organise social events, gatherings, Christmas parties, all that kind of thing. So it was quite good. It was nice to get to know people that you saw regularly. For some people, that was the only social activity they did. So I quite liked that side of it. But yeah, so I was doing research about 3 months, and then one day I just thought, what are you waiting for? So I did an accidental fast on day one because I had to go to Tesco's. There are other supermarkets available. I had to go to Tesco's to buy some bits, and by the time I'd been to Tesco's and bought my bits, it was getting on for very late lunch. So it was not unusual for me actually to go for all day without food. I think most people with kids could probably say they've done that at some point. So yeah, that was it really. Started and got no intention of stopping.
Excellent. So what made you then totally stop going to Slimming World? And did you tell anyone else there about it in the end?
Yeah. I had the way lady, beautiful lady. I need to get back in touch with her actually. She is diabetic type 2, and I just felt so guilt ridden knowing that there was a different way she could go and probably achieve remission. And a lot of it for me was guilt that I felt like I had a secret that I couldn't share in that forum. So I eventually just said, look, I'm going. I didn't last much longer after I'd started, and I saw some weight coming off.
You mentioned about doing research, and you're a massive guru, I would say, in the group with all the research and stuff, and you like doing that side of things. And it seems to me that you're sort of quite an academic, and you're enjoy doing the research side of it. Is that right?
I wouldn't say I'm academic. Just for those that don't know, I am currently studying on top of working and everything else. And the academic side of things doesn't come easy to me. I'm not stupid. I think I've got a good level of intelligence, but actual, academia in its official sense doesn't come easy. So I have to work hard. However, I love knowing the science. So I'm nosy, and I want to know why things are happening, what's making something happen, what can fix it. So it's my own personal reading as well that I'm doing it for. I'm not doing it. Sometimes I'll have a look at something that somebody else brings up just because I think it might help if I post something. But I'm reading mostly for my own interest and my own learning. I do share a lot in the group. I'm sure it's not appreciated by everybody, and that's okay. There's not a problem with that.
I would argue that we've just literally had 2 people say here that they love your posts.
Oh, thank you.
So,
And I go as much as saying you are the science queen known in the group.
The thing is, for me, you do all the work and we just read it.
So you're nosy, Chelsea.
Anyway, I'm completely lazy. I'll just read it.
So you're nosy. She's lazy. There you go.
So
I'm nosy as well, but I'm lazy.
So where does that passion of the science comes from for you then, Chelsea? Has it always been that way for you, or since you want to live this lifestyle, has it heightened your passion, shall we say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I learn, you know, the basics at the start, but then the biochemistry of things was like, oh no, we're doing this all wrong. You know, when you start talking about glucose and insulin, and that was it for me. You're like, oh, okay, better knock that on the head. And it was as simple as that in the start. I am reading, watching, listening to something every single day now for over 3.5 years. There's literally not a day goes by that I've not read, even if it's a Twitter post. It can be as basic as that, or it can be something obviously a lot more complicated, like reading articles and things. But I am reading for my own interest. There's no motive behind any of those posts other than I'm just sharing something interesting that I've read because it might be relevant to somebody else.
And that's brilliant, and thank you for doing that. I know it's really appreciated by.
And I'll be
people.
honest, Sue, as Sue just said, I don't have time. So the fact you do it for us sometimes, and I could just click on and read, it's a godsend, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, that sort of takes us to your part within public health collaboration, or PHC. So some people might be going, well, what are you talking about? Can you tell us what PHC is and how you got involved and what they do?
Okay, so the Public Health Collaboration is a charity organisation, official charity. They've been going for a few years, and the director is absolutely lovely. And Sam Feltham, I think a few people have probably heard of him. So they recently changed the way the organisation is run, and they now have a board of trustees instead of what were previously partners. You'll know some of the names on that board of trustees. Dr. Unwin, the Doctor's Unwin actually, for starters, and a couple of others that you will definitely have heard of if you're watching YouTube videos, or if you're on Twitter or Instagram or on Facebook following various people and doctors in the UK, and not just the UK as well. They've got connections internationally. The PhD's quite often invited to speak at conferences throughout the world. The Unwins have just been in America to Minnesota, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, things like that. So the now president is Dr. Asim Malhotra, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard of him. He's a UK cardiologist. He's from Manchester originally, lives and works in London. Did work for a long time with the NHS, still has links with the NHS. His father was a GP, sadly passed away just over a year ago. And he's very vocal about things at the moment regarding big pharma, big food. He was one of the main players in the sugar tax, which a lot of people don't like, but it did change things. Like if you look back to when the tobacco tax was introduced, how much that changed things for people, and people didn't like it at the time. But so yeah, my involvement with the PhD is that I am an ambassador. I was watching PHC videos, I think, on YouTube, and then it sort of must have got mentioned somewhere that they want ambassadors. So started following the pages and things like that. And eventually I thought, I wonder if they'd have me. What can I do? So I'm actually in a bit of a weird position compared to a lot of the ambassadors in PHC, because their main foot in the door, even now, is with primary care services. And I work in a hospital. So it's a completely different ball game for me to try and get anybody to listen to me and our thing, our keto thing. And I've just very recently managed to get 2 consultant nurses to let me send them some information. So that's the best I've got regarding the work element. But we hold conferences, we have ambassador Zooms regularly. There are ambassadors all over the country. They are always on the lookout for ambassadors should anybody be interested. And literally all the information you could want is on their website. It is really good. There are links to every single talk that they've done at all the conferences that they've attended. There are lots of QR codes. There's direct links to things like, Dr. Unwin's sugar infographics. You can print them off, you can pop them around, you can show them your colleagues, you can show them your kids, whatever you want to do with them. They've got a couple of subgroups now. There's one called the Lifestyle Club. That's actually an 8-week program. And you can join that group from a distance if you need to, if you're not where they're running from. I don't want to say it's like Slimming World, because obviously it's not. It's low carb, keto focus, but it's a program that you can actually join. So it's not free at the moment, but I believe that some areas can be referred in through their GP. So that might be something that somebody could speak to their GP about. But again, information's all on the website. They're also doing Keto for kids. I've got the initials wrong there. Sorry, I've got the initials wrong, but you'll see it. So they're also trying to lean towards children taking it into schools, starting with information and things like that. So it's a really good approach that they're using at the moment. And there's also Real Food Runners. So I don't know if anybody's seen any of their work. They've just done their second 5-day fasted run. So they've done that twice, and they've got a couple of type 1 diabetics doing that, running completely fasted.
Brilliant.
For 5 days. So, you know, they're trying
awesome,
to,
isn't it?
yeah, they're trying to prove that this works, that things that we're talking about are not just something written down on paper. Oh, thank you. They're not just written down on paper. People are actually doing it. They're being the, you know, the N1 experiment. So yeah. Oh, there's Richard. I'm missing some of the names. Sorry, you guys. I'll have to keep up with that because I've not put my glasses on.
Lulu says you're amazing. Love your posts.
Oh,
Karen Scott said, love your posts, Chelsea. Thank you for doing them and sharing with us. Sandra Lee says, hi all. Richard says, hi all. I think Christine said, hi, evening all. So, and then
And I've just put the link in for PH.
just shared the link, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks,
There we
Sue.
go. Mhm.
So, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat, and we will ask Chelsea. Tracy's got a question.
No. It's quite a sensible one. So, you talked about biochemistry and things like that, you know, and the science. I hear on the grapevine that you may have made your own sun cream for a holiday that's coming up. You
I
know,
did.
tell us about that.
Well, I have been making my own tallow balm for about 2 years, and it's just ridiculously easy. And it's one of the best things really that you can put on your skin because it's animal saturated fat. Cellularly, it's close to us on a cellular level. There's no toxins in it. There's no chemicals in it.
I just can't get past the image of being soaked in beef dripping.
I was going to say,
be
that
honest,
you smell of
Chelsea,
beef.
you know.
You don't
Well,
smell beef.
it doesn't. But if you compare that to being soaked in chemicals and toxins that are going to do damage, what's your choice?
True,
For
and I
me,
agree with you. It's just the
yeah.
funny side of it, isn't it? Let's be honest, you know.
But it's you know that's an interesting comment, and it's not the first time I've heard it or just off you, because I get it. It was a bit like, oh God, but it's like when you get told that eat all the beef dripping, eat all the butter. We've been told for years that it's bad for us.
Yeah.
Still get told it's bad for us, and then all of a sudden somebody like me saying, oh yeah, I use that on my skin. What?
So
It's just going back to
hopefully,
nature.
you and Lisa hopefully will join short and shorter and be making some of this live, you know, tallow in a upcoming live later in the year. You know, I think that's you know, something very different and something to look forward to. Because just imagine the amount of money that we would save if we're making our own products. Because let's be fair, from my understanding, it takes so little and yet it lasts such a long time. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Mm.
Couple of
So I
quid.
got ambitious and made some sun cream. I'm going on holiday on Friday, and we have just had a bit of a decent summer. I am ginger, actual ginger. That's why I call myself that name. I am.
No.
And so I just thought, I wonder if this is a thing. Again, started looking online, and yes, it absolutely is a thing. So I've been sort of cautious on that one for quite a few months, and then eventually I thought, I'm just going to have a go. What can go wrong? The ingredients are cheap, it's really quick, and again, natural product, and it turned out lovely.
And how long will it last for then, out of curiosity? Because when we buy stuff off the shelf in the supermarkets and things, basically it's a 6 months life on them, isn't it? You know, would you say it would last the same or
At least a
differently?
year. It's a year to
Okay.
2 years.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's got an SPF. I mean, you can't calculate it properly because it's not going off for lab testing, but the formulas that so the recipe that I followed isn't pure tallow.
Hmm.
I've followed a recipe for the reason that I want it to be as safe as it can be. So that's why this lady has a business and she sells these products. So she must have had something tested somewhere. So I thought, okay, let's follow a recipe. Oh, it's so easy. I can't even tell you. And it's really inexpensive. And yeah, I made a batch. It's all ready to go for Friday, and I've tried it out on me. I've tried it out on my son. It's just lovely on the skin.
What's it smell like?
Coconut, mild coconut.
Nice.
Is that because you added coconut fragrance to it, or
No,
I
it's
say
got
I say fragrance, but it's natural, isn't it? You know.
yeah. I deliberately didn't. I've added no essential oils to the sun cream. I do put them in the face
Tallow.
cream.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've not done because I'm going in the sun in it. So I just thought, just in case you don't know what them essential oils, because you've got to really know your thing with essential oils, which is why obviously I want Lisa to come in and chat about that, because she's more in the know about that than me, because I think she's used them therapeutically before, whereas I'm just using them for personal use in a skin cream. So I researched, because again with essential oils you have got to be careful what you're using and how much. Some conditions you have to avoid doing some things, using some of them as well and doing certain things. So yeah.
So Sandra's put something interesting on here. She's saying that it's doing keto has helped her mental well-being. What, with your sort of experience and the research you've done, would you agree that is something, and why is that?
Well, you've not got a brain that's fueled on sugar constantly. There's certain cells in the brain that can only use glucose, but your liver will make it. The same as in your red blood cells and your kidney cells. They can only use glucose because they've not got certain elements within the cells, but your liver makes all that by itself. I think the recent thinking, Sandra, just from my reading recently, is that it's actually not a chemical imbalance, it's a gut imbalance. So if you're fixing your gut with a diet that's got no gluten in it, no grains in it, hardly any sugar in it, and you're eating whole food, avoiding the processed stuff, your microbiome will get sorted, and that is why your mental clarity is improving. You have got less brain fog because your gut controls your brain. It's at least a 50-50 partnership. So there's been a lot of information released just recently that actually a lot of mental disorders aren't a chemical imbalance, which is why the drugs don't work.
There's a song there, isn't there?
There is. But yeah, that's why.
Excellent.
Can I ask something? And we always ask people this. Who inspires you?
Mm.
Oh,
That's
is
a
that
heavy one.
That's a goodie, isn't it?
I don't,
Okay,
I
well,
don't know if it's a who,
well, that,
the why. I know the why.
What motivates you?
trying to live as long as possible for the kids. That's it. I started having kids later. They were all accidents. No surprises. That's the word. I'm joking. I love them all.
Unexpected blessings. Unexpected blessings.
That's the one. There were surprises, but yeah, obviously no regrets. But because I was an older mum to start off with, and I had number 3 when I was 40, she was a real surprise. I am fully aware because I had a young mum, so I'm the other way, and I just thought I just want to sort myself out. What I didn't realise when I started is that I was going to fix some of my health issues along the way. I just thought they were part of getting, being in your 40s. When I was in Slimming World and things, I'd already had the 3 kids, but I was quite slim when I lost most of my weight. But when I look back now, I don't think I looked well. Particularly in the face. I didn't have, muscle. I think I probably lost some muscle. And I still had various bits of health issues. I was still feeling the effects of endometriosis. I developed Graves' disease. I had, achy joints. I was also perimenopausal, but didn't have a clue about that at that point. Was probably most postmenopausal as maybe, but it were a bit cloudy on the time. And frozen shoulder, things like that. And within 3 months of starting keto, a lot of that was just like, oh, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. Oh, my hip's not sore now when I wake up. Things like that. Mentally was much more alert, especially in the job that I was doing at the time. Physically, I wasn't getting tired. Energy, fine. And it was sort of about 3 months in, I was like, oh, that's not a problem anymore. I'm not moaning about that anymore. So, yeah. But they were the unexpected benefits for me. I did lose what I'd gained back on Slimming World initially. But I think a lot of people who are on the thread now know that that hasn't maintained.
How are you on that journey? Because most people know you're very up and down and sideways in all sorts of ways because of those nice little hormones.
Yeah. The menopause is a bit of a devil. Let's just say that. So I would have to say that symptom-wise, I'm pretty good. I'm warmer now than I used to be, but that's not a bad thing really, because that can sort of indicate where your thyroid's sitting. But symptom-wise, I'm okay. I am just holding weight. I gained it back about 2 years ago. It started to gain back bit by bit by bit. And it's sort of still there.
So what are you sort of doing about that? What are your thoughts on it? How are you coping with that?
It's one of the reasons that I sort of had a bit of apprehension about this tonight, because it's just like, well, how can she preach that? She's still big, and how can she? Who's she to tell me what I could try, or that type of thing.
Have you seen us 3?
I was going to say, Chelsea, I'm there with you on that one.
Yeah, but health-wise, I'm tip-top. I'm just bigger than I want to be. But I believe it's down to estrogen dominance. And I believe that I've still got a lot of estrogen stacked away in my fat cells. So I'm just figuring out and trying things to get that released.
So you said, though, that you've had like no pain in the shoulder and your hips and stuff like that. Has that come back, or is that still gone?
No.
So although, the weight is an issue, all those other health benefits that the keto lifestyle has is still there. And that is why you're here, because that's brilliant. It isn't all about weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Mark says that a lot of the time. It isn't just about the weight. Yes, for some it is normally what someone would start a diet for. But I think people that are doing this way of eating realise soon that it isn't a diet and it is a lifestyle change for all those benefits, including the weight loss. Karen put a message about she finds her tummy's better doing more of a carnivore diet. And I know that you are primarily carnivore, would you agree? Or do you try and mix it up?
Well, so I was obviously just straight up keto for quite a while, and then about a year in, it was like, oh, what's this carnivore thing? You know, the more groups you join and you see posts and things like that, I thought, oh, I bet I could do that. So I did carnivore January after about a year of being keto, and I thought, oh, this is all right. It was easier than I thought, more enjoyable than I thought, and I was absolutely loaded with energy. Because it's obviously higher fat, or it should be. I just sort of carried it on really. And then I was realizing that when I was eating certain things, I was feeling certain effects from it. So I basically ended up sort of saying, well, that's not really suiting me. That's got to go. And then after a while, I'd test it again, and then things would happen. So I've just focused recently for a few weeks on high fat carnivore, something that I believe in because of everything that I've read, seen, etc. No change in weight, but felt absolutely brilliant. And literally on Monday this week, just decided to revert a bit more keto. To support my husband because he's really slipped off. I'm worried a bit about his health, and so I've gone a bit back to keto. But yeah, literally 2 days in, I'm seeing effects.
So what it's called, and and then a lot of wind emojis.
Yeah,
it's just been, it's been the protein and the veg meals again. And it's just too much.
The thing is, everyone is different, and you take bits and bits of here and there and everywhere, and you make it into what is good for you. And we are all different. Totally. And the way I'm coming around to thinking about keto and this lifestyle is, I sometimes think maybe I'm meant to be this weight, but I know on the inside I'm a lot healthier than I was 3 years ago. I might still be.
I feel that as well.
But I'm healthier, and that's the important bit. The excess weight is just fat. It's just there, and sometimes I think, will it ever go? Are we all meant to be different sizes? And I think we are. I think some people won't lose it. We exercise, we eat healthy. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm all for the health benefits, and whatever weight I lose along the way is an added pleasant side effect, because I feel healthier now than I have in a long time. But again, we're all very different, aren't we? Yvonne is asking, do you do a lot of exercise in support of the eating? Those who know Chelsea wouldn't ask that question, really, truthfully.
Exercise?
I don't really do the exercise classes, but I'm doing things in the background. But no, it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
Dan, good evening. My friend from Leeds is here. Good evening, Dan. How are you? Lovely. So, those who know you very well in the members group, Charles, know that you have a passion for a certain brand of gadgets, shall we say. You know, in the kitchen before it gets naughty. Okay, this is a family evening show. So, where did that passion come from? How did you get onto the ninja gadget, shall we say? What was your first ninja then?
It was the 9-in-1. Got the 9-in-1 first. I can't properly remember how it even happened. I don't know where I saw
it. We got the 9-in-1 sort of pretty quick, didn't we?
Yeah. And it sat in the box for about 2 weeks.
Mind you, your 15 sat in the box for a long time as well, didn't it?
The what, Sue? Sorry.
Your 15-in-1. That sat in the box for a while as well, if I remember right.
She was in there.
I kept saying, get it out,
Yeah.
So do you name your
I was
gadgets
going to
then?
say, she just said
Yeah.
she, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped naming them after about number 5.
So what have you got?
Let's look around the kitchen. So I've got the 9-in-1. I've got the original grill. I've got the 15-in-1. She's a beauty. I've got the 3-in-1 food processor. I've got the 3-in-1 Ninja toaster panini thing. I've got a mini chopper that I got from QVC years ago, and it's still going strong. And I've got the kettle, and we've got a shark hoover. That's my hubby's though. I'm not allowed to touch it.
Okay.
Oh, the shark hoover's brilliant.
So
You're
which
not allowed
is
to
your
touch a
favourite?
Hoover.
I
Excellent.
wish.
Sorry, Trace.
Hey,
But
that's a
good.
win-win. Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Win-win there. No hoovering. I like that idea. Mine, Lee, to be fair, is pretty good. So, this isn't about Lee tonight. So,
Yeah.
So which is your favourite then? You hinted to the 15-1 because she's a
Yeah.
boot.
We probably use the grill the most because we even cook a lot of the kids' food in that one, so that's used every day. But the 15-in-1 is just an amazing bit of kit.
Sorry, Dan. Dan is saying his mind is going wild. I don't know why, because we're talking kitchen cooking gadgets, Dan.
Chelsea, you need the knives, dear.
I know I'm waiting for the big set with the extra scissors and the steak knives in.
Oh, you see, I didn't need the steak knives because I've got a very good set of steak knives that are 12 years old and are still as sharp as the day I got them. But I did get the scissors.
You said about you cook the kids' food on the grill. Do your kids? You've got 3 of them, haven't you? One that my daughter has quite a fancy for. Do they follow sort of the lifestyle? Not at all.
No, it's still a work in progress. So I'm really wanting them to take it on board. But I've got 2 out of 3 that have got learning disabilities. So that in itself has got its own challenges to make changes because the 2 of them are similar but different. They've got different diagnoses as well. But the other thing that I know is that this lifestyle could really help them physically and mentally. So it is a work in progress. When I'll win the fight, I don't know, but I've just got to keep going and doing a bit of subliminal messaging.
Is there some, because Rosie obviously is a junior ambassador for it, so but she would be the first to say she doesn't really stick to a low carb keto lifestyle all the time. I would say she's reduced the amount of sugar that she has and the amount of sort of beige carbs. She will have like my wraps for lunch and stuff like that rather than real wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think though that your kids do some stuff that they probably wouldn't have done if you weren't living this lifestyle? Because I know that your eldest was helping on the stall at Kestival, so there must be sort of bits in there that do go in, and I reckon he'll be able to answer lots of questions.
Yeah.
Like that.
It was AJ that Gem, the middle one. Yeah. Oh, he loved it.
Was he the middle one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think the main thing with them is that they are picking things up that I'm saying because they'll ask things like, "Is this healthy, Mum?" And they are conscious now to eat their protein first. So my eldest as well is a little bit of an intermittent faster. Okay. So even though he's not necessarily doing it from the food side, he's sort of making sure that I'm trying to encourage that a bit more, but not to fast proper like some of us are in the group, but to just eat his meals and not the in-betweens and then after a certain time of night.
Because that's hard with the young ones, isn't it? I
Yeah.
got kids myself, and it is that snacking in between. We can stop ourselves, but I think sometimes with the youngsters, their impulses take over before they've even thought about what they're doing, aren't they?
Yeah.
And habits are too easily formed that way, aren't they?
We've got a question here, or a bit of a statement as well, from Karen saying she'd love to know more about estrogen storage. HRT gel blew up, 3 stone, red itchy skin, but she's been off it for 4 months. Symptoms all gone. 2 stone loss, which is brilliant. Well done, Karen. And it is, hormones are just a big, horrible impact, don't they? So have you got any sort of recommendation of articles or books or anything like that Karen could look at?
Yeah. You probably need to read about estrogen dominance and about body identical progesterone.
There we go,
For that
Karen.
one.
Helen, the knives are amazing because I bought them for Lee, and I gotta say, as you know, sometimes I struggle chopping, and they go through things like butter. I couldn't get over how easy they were, made chopping.
They've stopped selling them.
Oh, have they?
Have they?
Yeah. I think they might be changing them because of
Oh,
issues.
no way. Issues?
Hmm.
Oh.
I've got no issues with mine.
Yeah.
Helen is talking about her lads have reduced sugar and processed foods, and they're both diagnosed with ADHD, and it helps the symptoms. I remember watching it's one of the films that everyone talks about when they start keto.
Magic pill.
Yeah, that's it, the magic pill. And on it they're talking about they were doing it with I think it was more with autism, but how it has a brilliant can have a really good effect on it.
A lot of it is based in the gut. So because this lifestyle fixes your gut, not completely, sometimes you've got to do a little bit extra, but it does a lot of gut fixing, and that helps to fix your brain.
It's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Well, when you read that the fetus is in ketosis and they're born in ketosis, and they store fat on purpose so that they're actually in ketosis, which when they're only being breastfed, they're only eating fat. So they're in ketosis.
Yeah,
ketones build certain organs, the brain, the body parts. Ketones build that during the development of the fetus. And you're like, oh, okay, should have been eating all the fat.
Yeah, that does make
Instead
sense.
of the solids that I thought I was doing myself a favour with, but yeah.
So have you got a best book?
Gemma, that was my question.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to ask her that one.
Sorry.
Okay, so it's not our best book. It's a few, especially for beginners. So let's start with Why We Get Sick by Ben Bittman. Lies My Doctor Told Me by Ken Berry. The Obesity Code and the Diabetes Code by Dr. Fung. Anything by Gary Tobes is really good. The Big Fat Surprise by Nina Ty Schultz. Oh, there's loads. Honestly, there's loads. But
can you write a list of all these for us, and we will put them.
Haven't we done that, Sue? Didn't we do that once a while ago in guides or files?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there is.
I'm sure we've got a thread on
Jason Fung, Ben Bittman, The Lies of Dr. Tob. That's the one. I've read all the others. Well, listened because I do Audible, but that's the one I'm going to have this month.
Maybe what we'll do, Sue, is we'll put a link to that again and sort of share it a bit more because it is quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Kerry has asked, what's your favourite carnivore food? I love your approach to carnivore.
Pork belly.
Oh, yeah.
You see, I've gone off it.
Oh, stop.
Oh.
So will you have it with Marmite or without, being as Kerry's asking the question?
Not branded Marmite because it's not gluten-free. I don't know if people know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
shop
it's a teeny tiny amount, but usually Shop's Own doesn't have gluten in. I've not tried it with Marmite on. I probably should, but
it is a thing, you know.
Yeah,
I've seen
I love Marmite. I am a Marmiter. I do love it.
Okay.
Good girl. You can stay.
Melody has read all those books that you guys were talking about, so that's good.
Fab.
She's
Fab.
getting a gold star.
So,
Like her
Charles,
surname.
Yeah.
if you could only have, you know, the Last Supper, one meal, what would it be for you?
Poor Billy.
Because I know you love your meat, and I've seen your posts about the meat you eat.
Steak.
Let's say big massive king prawns with a steak and some good jus with a fatty beef dripping jus like you get at Miller and Carter. Oh my goodness. Throw me in a bath of that, and some pork belly.
Nice.
Oh, and egg yolks to dip in as a sauce.
Right, okay. This egg yolk malarkey, is it because you don't like egg white, or is it is there something with egg yolks? And are they raw?
The egg yolks are raw, yeah. The fresh eggs, they're fine.
I can see your face, Jen, because I'm the same, you know, raw egg yolk.
You need to step out of your boxes. Come on,
when you're separating it from the white, because let's be honest, when the white is raw, it's quite snotty and slimy.
Down the sink.
Pardon?
Down the sink.
Down the sink. Okay.
I don't save them.
Whisk it up and fry it, and you've got an egg white pancake, dear.
Waste of time. It's like chewing a cotton wool cloud.
I usually chuck it down the sink, but yeah.
So there are some
nutrients. Have you got chickens?
No.
Oh.
It's called a supermarket, dear.
No, but she said fresh.
Yeah.
So fresh,
the eggs you buy in the supermarket are usually fresh.
Well, they're not fresh out of a chicken's bum, are they?
I'm not having a chicken.
So, Charles, the great debate that went on thanks to Gemma asking this question back last year. Do you store your eggs in the fridge or out of the fridge?
God.
In the fridge.
What?
Do you?
Why?
Because I eat raw yolks.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're weird.
Sorry, there's no real fridge.
There's a bit of a difference between a raw and a cooked egg white. So the yolks are where all the goodness is, and it doesn't really with yolks. It's not a thing if they're cooked or not. You still keep a lot of the nutrients, but with egg whites, they've not got that much in them. They've got a bit in them, but actually, I can't remember the name of it now. I didn't know I was going to get asked about egg yolks. I would have reminded myself, but there's a thing in them that you need to cook them to get rid of it. So yeah.
So you can't
have. So do you have a particular technique to separating your eggs and your
yolk and white? Sometimes you just use the shell.
I know, but it's a legit question because we have a member who struggled with separating the eggs. Now, come on, and he bought a gadget to help him.
He has got a gadget, Peter.
Yes.
You've got a gadget.
So you just use, like me, the shell.
Yeah, or I'll put it in my hand and let it come through my fingers.
That's the gadget.
Yeah.
And if I do it with those hands, anyone can separate an egg.
Dan, I agree with you. You can't beat your own chicken eggs, lovely, but I don't have chickens, but my neighbour does. So they're literally 2 doors away. So I get them very fresh when I can.
I noticed in your post this past few days that you've been eating duck eggs.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So
would you eat those raw?
Yeah.
I probably would eat the yolks raw, yeah, but I just what I was making required them to be cooked. So yeah, I would have the yolks raw.
Okay.
Karen has never separated an egg.
Wow, Karen. I think you need to come on live and we watch you do it, lovely.
You've never
no
lived.
pressure. Yes.
Oh, that's wow. So Chelsea, what would be your one bit of advice to anybody that's thinking of starting this journey?
Don't overthink it, but do a bit of get the basic understanding of what's going on in your body when food is put in your gob. Because as soon as that goes in there, processes start, and then there's a chain reaction, and that's the thing that you're trying to alter. So just get the very basic science. It's a scary word, that, for some people, which is I totally get. I don't mean, go and read Grey's Anatomy, if that still exists, but not the TV series, Tracy. It's an actual book, by the way.
I haven't said a word.
You don't need to go and read a doctor's handbook or anything like that, but I just think get the basic understanding of what's going on with glucose and insulin and how you manage those two things. What certain foods will do to you. Are they going to help you or harm you?
Brilliant. And because obviously we are part of Keto Fitness Club, what made you join the club, and why should people join us?
Well, she gets us as a bunch of nutters as our friend, and she, let's be honest, sorry, girls, I couldn't resist.
I'd been in a couple of UK keto groups, and because I was such a reader, I got chucked out of a couple.
How rude.
Because anyway, it's a long story. I won't go into it on here, but I got chucked out of a couple because of some of the things I was saying, and they were very policey, which I also didn't like. And I actually had a friends private group that I set up because I already knew somebody that had reduced her sugar intake to get herself ready for menopause. And she was saying how amazing she was feeling, and she carries that on to this day. And then I was like, so she was another person that I called on for information. So we were messaging each other, and I said, would this be easier in a group? Set a group up. It was private, literally friends only. It is still active. It's just literally such a small amount because I wanted to keep it quite tight and a safe space. And actually that friend knew about Keto Fitness Club, the public group. So she would post recipes in there and things like that. And in the end, I thought, well, I might as well just join it. So I joined the public group, and then I can't remember how many months it was. And I thought, I want to see what's going on in members. So I just did the monthly membership, and that was that. And then I think it was about a year in, did lifetime membership.
Brilliant. I think one of the big things about the group, like you're saying, you got kicked out of some of the others. I think with our group, we are open to all suggestions, and if someone does believe in something that maybe someone else doesn't, it's fine. You can have your own say and your own point of view. And I think that's one of the really big good things about it. Like I said earlier, we really appreciate the stuff, and I think if someone doesn't like what is said or what the evidence that you've shown, just go past it. You don't need to just scroll by. You don't need to comment or anything if you don't like it. And I think that's the good thing about our group not being what do we call it, keto police.
Yeah, I've learned things off other members as well. It's not all one way. I do learn off people in the group. So for example, Arwen got me onto making my own kefir. She was writing how easy that is. Other people have said about yogurt. Sue did that. That was easy.
What have you learned from me, Chelsea?
Pardon?
What have you learned from me?
Oh, you can have really, really good desserts. Well, you can tell.
Too many to say. How about that?
Oh, this is funny. Kerry's got more of your posts saved than recipes.
Kerry, same here. All I do is save. I've got a file that says save for later. It really should be called gingers. I just
like to think it just triggers somebody's interest, and then they go off and do their own reading.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd have to agree with Barbara. I don't think it's judgmental in there. I think the members group's really safe. There's loads of stuff going on. You know, we all have our little life's trials from time to time. But you know that the group's always there, ready for if you need to dip out of it for a bit and deal with things.
There was a
You can
very
go back to it.
heart-filled post this week about somebody struggling, and
Yeah.
you know, the fact they had that safe place to share it and have support from the members is, you know, testimony to the members actually themselves, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. I also like the social meetups. I think they're
Oh,
one
I
of my
don't know any
favourite
about that. Nothing at all about the social side of things.
She was talking about the quizzes.
I
and
know,
the
yeah,
quizzes. I
yeah.
like the quizzes. Got used to them during lockdown. We're starting ours up again because we missed doing them.
I did pass on that you're interested for another one, Charles. Maybe
Yeah, got to do another one.
you could do one for us.
Yeah.
I'm not that good as a quiz host.
Right, I think we're nearly at the time, Chelsea. Is there anything that you were hoping that we would ask you about and we haven't said that you feel we need to know about you?
About me?
Or
That's
about you, or about the
loaded.
lifestyle or anything?
Just don't if you fall off your trail, get back on it as soon as you can and let go of any guilt.
Yes.
It's done.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Keep on swimming.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Have a lovely, lovely holiday.
I will.
Don't drink too much.
Okay.
I don't know any other person who drinks red wine with ice, Chelsea, but you know, it works for you.
And soda.
And soda. Yeah. Kerry said she's loved watching you tonight and getting to know more about you. Truly inspirational. And you are, you know, you're a valid member of our community, you know.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and keep sharing. Keep
Oh, I
sharing.
will.
Please do.
Well, thank you so much,
Thanks
and
for coming.
we will see you soon when you come back from your holiday. And thank you everybody else for watching. And we're back.